Bryce. I'm just curious, what have you heard about Jordan Hare and what goes into playing there?
Yeah, I've heard, I've definitely heard a lot of stories about, how intense it is, how loud it is, how crazy an environment it is. So, that's something that we know going in. It's obviously a huge rivalry, means a lot, to everyone in the state. It means a lot to us. And we understand that we're going to a hostile environment. But just as far as what I've heard, I've heard it's they're very spirited. It's a really loud place to play. So we just have to prepare for that.
AP. AP. All right, go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, so what is your process for when you're getting ready to play in road games like this in places that are as loud and as hostile? What's your mental mindset into the going in those moments?
Yeah, you have to prepare the same way, but you know that in practice and everything, there kind of has to be that extra hint of communication. Everyone has to make sure that they're on the same page so that you're able to communicate in an environment like that. So it's the same process, but there's definitely kind of that emphasis in us all being as a team, us being able to communicate, us all being on the same page, and also us just understanding what we're getting ourselves into and where we're going to play.
Charlie.
Hey, Bryce. Mechie and Jamo both had big games on Saturday, and they've kind of been doing that of late. Just how much fun are you having with those guys, and how's that chemistry developed with both of them?
Yeah. Mitch and JMO have been playing really well. They've been playing well all year, and then it's because a lot of the stuff that they do and they do well is stuff that might not show up on the stat sheet, but they've really been consistent all year in practice. You can see when you see how it translates because of how hard they both work in practice. So having weapons like that makes my job a lot easier. So definitely been it's definitely fun to have those guys out there, and we're all just improving and getting better and still working to maximize our potential as an offense.
Joseph.
Yeah. Hey Bryce, what's your perspective of this game being from California? When's the first time you heard about it? Did Najee fill you in on it? Like what are your thoughts?
Yeah. The Iron Bowl is always been a staple of college football for a while. So me even being from California and not being in the South, that still I'd always known about it, always heard about it. It's always something that's been talked about nationally. So it's something I was well aware of. Even as growing up and being a young college football fan, I'm in California. So and then now being in it. And obviously being a part of it and seeing how much it means to everyone, seeing how much it means to us, coach, staff, players, everyone around the building. It definitely it resonates even deeper than when I was back home. But it's something that I've always been aware of, and it's something that as a team we take very, very seriously.
Tony.
Right, so you mentioned your offensive line a couple times after the game. On some of your deep balls, JV Cohen did really well to pull and pick up blocks. Just how athletic is he, and how much of a help is he in the passing game?
Yeah, Javo is a crazy athlete. A lot of the stuff that he's able to do, along with a lot of our O-line, but a lot of the stuff that Javo's able to do, just like you said, it's stuff that when you watch the film, it might seem routine or might seem easy, but trust me, it's definitely not. It's stuff that he's able to make look routine that's really hard to do. So Javo's been playing really well all year, as long as along with our whole O-line, and especially last week them playing, being able to, create the opportunities that they were able to create, and both run and pass game. That's always, what starts and is that's really the driving force behind an offense.
Stephen.
Bryce, last week you saw Christian Leary, his first touchdown catch. Ja'Cory Brooks getting out there. And what's it like seeing these young guys chomp at the bit and have fun and have success out there?
Yeah, it's always good to see young guys get on the field and are able to have some success and to play a key role. And Christian Leary was able to score his first touchdown, which is always great. We were all super excited, as a team. And then Ja'Cory made some really big plays, and he made some plays that actually people might not have highlighted or seen, but he did a lot of stuff that was vital to our success. So seeing young guys come in with a professional mindset like they both have, and being committed to the process, being dedicated, and then being ready when their time comes. That's always a big thing, because you never know when it's time for you to step up and your time comes. And both of them, their number was called over on Saturday, and they both stepped up and rose to the occasion. So it's something that's really encouraging for us offensively.
Steve.
Bryce, appreciate the time. I was hoping you could maybe go back to the Arkansas game, and after evaluating it, how well do you think you performed in that game? And was that your best game, you think, in an Alabama uniform?
With time to watch the film, I thought there are good things I did. I think there's still a lot of room for me to improve. I think there's obviously positives and negatives, that you take away from every game, individually and collectively as a team, as a unit, all that. So I feel like for me, it's there are positives that I want to continue, and then there's stuff that I see on film that I want to correct and get right and grow in those areas. So for me, it's it was. I'm just focusing on the things I didn't do as well, and still trying to improve. And we are as offense and as a team still all working each and every day to try to reach our full potential.
Ryan.
Bryce, picking up on what Joseph asked you about being from California, hearing about this rivalry, and then was there a moment when you came to Alabama, maybe at a gas station or something, where someone was like, you got to beat Auburn, and you were like, wow, this means a little bit more, this rivalry, when you're in the state of Alabama now? Yeah,
I will say this was like when I first got here. I think it was like I was at like Walmart or something. Like I first got there, and there's someone, it's at Walmart in Tuscaloosa, and someone was in like full Auburn gear. And being back home, like there's UCLA and USC are kind of like, you see people with those stuff on all the time, and then there's USC fans, UCLA fans, and then it's people just go around it and it's business as usual. But I saw someone in like a full Auburn like attire, and you could tell everyone was like looking at them weird, and like people were giving them dirty looks, and seeing that kind of showed me how much it meant as a community and as a state, just how big this this rivalry is. And again, that's something as a team that we take a lot of pride in and take personally. And we know that we know this is a tough rivalry, so we have to work and day in and day out and make sure we put ourselves in the best position to try to be successful.
Mike.
Just going back to the summer for a second, Bryce, NIL was a pretty big topic back then, and just how it affect the locker room. Just having gone through most of the season now, just how much is that a topic on a day-to-day basis between players?
Between players, not at all. NIL is something that we all knew. Coach Saban has told us was just kind of an external factor. So for us, when you enter the building, no one's thinking about NIL, no one's thinking about stuff outside, and it's not something we're talking about or consumed about. That's just an external factor for us, especially when you step into the building. So, there hasn't been discussion about it. We're all engaged and locked in on what's important, and that's winning games. So, anytime we're in the facility, that's all we're concerned about.
John.
Yeah, Bryce, Mac Jones had kind of an adventure. His first trip to Jordan-Hare Stadium. Has he talked to you about that experience? Have you heard from him at all, or even last season did he talk about it?
Yeah, it was more from learning about. It's really from learning from him firsthand last year, and seeing the preparation he took into the game, and seeing kind of him talking about the growth he had from that, from playing there, and him talking about experience, and along with the entire team, talking about experiences and stuff. So, it's we all know as a team, whatever has happened in the past, positive or negative, it's in the past. So for us, any sort of, whatever it may be, and whatever some team has accomplished, not accomplished, whatever it is, that doesn't, play any role in us. For us, we have to go out there and play against a really, really good team in a really, really hostile environment. And, we have to create our own, legacy and have to, do it for us. So anything that's happened in the past with whatever team, that's, you can take stuff and you can watch film and learn from stuff, but that doesn't, play any bearing into what we have to do and improve.
Luciano.
Hey, Bryce, going into the last game of the regular season, what is the most important thing you have learned in your first season as a starter?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd say the most important thing is just, I think it's just kind of trying to navigate, what's most important as far as having, being successful as an offense and as a team. And I feel like one of the biggest things has just been, communication for myself, from the entire team, and us, making sure we're on the same page. I've understood how important it is for me and the line to all know what's going on. The running back to understand what the line's doing, what I'm doing. For receivers to understand what I'm expecting to do. For me to understand what they want. All that. So I really learned, the importance of communication for us being on the same page. And that's stuff that we work on day in and day out, and stuff that we're still trying to improve on. But that's definitely been one of the big learning lessons that I've experienced throughout the year.
Final question, Haley.
Bryce, I know you talked earlier about your mental preparation for both you and the rest of the team, but I mean, with this being your first start in a big game, are you nervous at all? I mean, what are you feeling emotionally going into Saturday's game?
Yeah, I wouldn't know if I would say this is my first start in a big game, but really that, it's about, like you said, it's a lot about preparation, and it's a lot about, and it's a lot about, the work you put in throughout the week, and, what we do as a team to prepare. So, nerves aren't really something that comes into play. It's really I've kind of learned it's a byproduct of when you don't feel like you've prepared, you don't feel like you've worked. So for me, what I have to do is throughout this entire week, make sure that I prepare, as I should, and make sure that I work, and as a team, we're together and we work as we know we should to get better each and every day. And then when you handle that, that's kind of where the nerves leave. But for me, it's all about attacking the week, and me individually and us as a team collectively putting ourselves in the best position to be successful on Saturday.
We'll end with Tony. Go ahead, Tony.
Bryce, Bo Nix just said that he kind of insinuated that Alabama gets calls in big games. Do you kind of feel that way, and what's your response to that?
Yeah, that's an external factor. That's something as a team we don't look at, we don't control. So, whatever happens that's out of our control, Coach Saban's always, talk to us about making sure that we control what we can control and focus on what we can do. So any external factor, that's not really something that as a team we're concerned about.